A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening to another edition of For Light and Dice. I'm very excited for you to hear this episode. This is the remainder of the current session that we're on. I think it's the third or the fourth. I don't quite remember. We've had so many. But do not worry. We have recorded several sessions since this one. So a lot has happened, and I can't wait for you to hear the future episodes. But in the meantime, this episode will take place only 5 seconds after the previous one. The crew is still trying to figure things out on what to do next. So listen. You hear what they do next. So on the Squonk, what do you all do?
Zero will lead Orcus into the computer room with Lysander and say, so I assume I must have spoken to the Squonk before with you present. How did that go when you were around?
I never plugged in. We had a few people that could do that.
What? Yeah. Let's before we plug in, who else was around? What were our other friends?
I'll tell you about that some other time. Have you checked the surface memory banks?
Yeah, the Squonk is kind of in a similar situation to me. It just doesn't really remember much other than the mission and supposedly my purpose being a scout and a spy. But it's only really seems concerned with the mission, but it didn't really say anything about you at all, or anything else other than the mission.
I think as a defense mechanism, so that none of its information can be taken out of its banks, it automatically wipes its memories, but it keeps the core function. Unfortunately, it also means it resets its key learnings.
Okay, what does that mean?
Basically means any useful strategy or tactics it once obtained, it purged from its memory banks, but the system is designed to be adaptable and learn quickly. So it's learning from you all right now.
Oh,
well,
boy.
That explains why the Squonk is just as reckless as the rest of us.
Well, shit. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna plug in, Lysander. Please make sure that Orcus doesn't try anything fancy. And I guess keep an eye on the screen for the text conversation. Oh, and this is, baby 000, by the way, and Zero will pick up 000. This is the other processor. I'm gonna connect both of us to the Squonk.
Oh, the processor isn't integrated.
Yeah, they mentioned something about needing a body.
Don't do that.
Why?
Because if things don't work out with the Squonk, we can still sell this one processor untarnished and make a lot of money off of it.
But it's like a lot smaller. Like this one isn't like the Squonk. The Squonk's brain is only fits in a ship. This is like meant for a droid. Like a normal droid.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know why it gave off a similar signature. Like, I think maybe it's from a similar place. Maybe it's also from Zakul, but It won't,
Possibly a prototype?
maybe? I don't know, but I'll connect us to the Squonk. Just keep an eye on the screen. And
Alright.
we connect to the Squonk.
Yeah, so Zero, you're sucked in to the digital realm of the Squonk, and the Squonk immediately asks you, Vessel, what is the status of the mission?
Yeah, well, interesting update. We found an old passenger of yours.
I do not recognize this person.
Well, he had significant memory of you and I, even though I also do not recognize this person. His theory is that you probably wipe your memory as like a security measure.
That's correct.
Well, that makes sense then.
So he is someone who did not complete the mission.
Yeah, they weren't able to. He said with their like technological capabilities, they weren't able to get to Zakul. And then they lost track of you over time. Something like 100 years ago or something. And but then they heard about us flying around Coruscant, and he found us.
Is he someone who can help complete the mission?
He thinks so.
What do you think?
I mean, he has more knowledge about. I mean, as someone who has attempted and failed the mission before, I mean, they say you should like learn from your failures and whatnot. You know, he probably knows things that don't work, so we don't try them again. I don't know, I trust him.
Then I do not recommend that we space him.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're on the same page there. He also mentioned that he thinks the 000 here might be like a prototype of some kind.
Possible.
000, do you have anything to say for yourself?
000 doesn't say anything. Processor is still inactive, says the Squonk.
Yeah, that tracks. So, are we able to just jump to Zakul?
Correct.
Okay. So you're like ready to go whenever.
That is correct.
Do you have any means of cloaking your signal at all?
No.
Because the main sort of concern... I dropped the other ship on a couple of huts, and there's a concern that they'll be chasing after us. And so we're trying to figure out how to complete the mission without being followed by a massive army of gangsters.
I have gathered information on the huts and have evaluated that they are a high threat.
Yeah,
we could make a preemptive bombardment on Hutta.
A preemptive bombardment?
Would require several weapons upgrades.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no, I don't think we need to do that. I think probably the least amount of interactions with the huts is better.
What would you recommend?
A cloaking. we can't do that. And we don't really... The other crew want to go talk to some, more space wizards who aren't Jedi, who know things about technology, and they think that will help.
They can provide a cloaking device?
Unclear. Hey, Lysander, reading this on the screen, can you, shoot, Corrail a message and ask if the Order of the Scypheltaic might be able to provide a cloaking device?
Lysander in the group chat is like, hey, Corey.
You get 4 thumbs up.
And Lysander is just like, yes.
It seems signs point to yes.
Then this would be an acceptable quest to take upon ourselves.
Well, all right then. What do you know? I guess. Do you know anything about Zakul's history with Jeddah at all? Is there a connection there?
I do not have any information.
Okay. I just don't know if we take the ship to Jeddah, if there'll be any... 'Cause I also know there's some connection to the Sith that we've discovered before. I just don't... I know that they said this Jeddah is like a place of a bunch of Force people, and the Sith are Force people who are like dead or whatever. It's all very confusing, but I don't want the ship to get, shot out of the sky because someone recognized it and didn't like it.
Lysander, when Orcus is reading a lot of this on the screen, he looks over at you and says, Sith? Jeddah?
You were with the ship before, and it never mentioned to you about the Sith?
No. We can't.
Well,
The Sith have been gone for a long time.
interesting.
I've never met one.
That's the Squonk was... The Squonk knows Sith and told us it was a Sith ship before, so
What?
I don't know. That's just what the Squonk told us.
This gets worse all the time.
Yeah, welcome to our lives for the past several months now.
And Orcus looks generally concerned.
So, I guess we'll go talk to these technological space wizards and see how they can cloak our ship from the Hutts. Hopefully we have enough time that the Hutts don't follow us to Jeddah. Can you get a path or whatever to Jeddah?
Unfortunately, I cannot. Need data. Recommend contacting the source of the plans for additional information.
Are you able to do that?
I can try.
Do I want to call Marcion again?
Meanwhile, Orcus reads that on the screen and is like, no, don't, no.
Why shouldn't we contact this person?
The less he knows, the better. He can't know about this deal.
That's true. If he's Nihil, we shouldn't.
I don't know if hyperspace is broken and Jeddah is still a far way away. I'm not sure how we get there without a path. And we do have a path to Zakul.
We can, the Squonk says we can attempt standard hyperspace.
Oh, yeah, I know we can attempt it. It's all broken right now.
I mean, it's not that it's broken, like Lysander reading this. It's just that there's a very high chance that debris could get in our way and kill us.
How about this? I will convey this information with our pilot, and we'll discuss that and make a determination. We will either go to Jeddah or Zakul, preferably Jeddah if we can, so we can cloak our approach and get to Zakul as safely as possible, and thus complete the mission the most successfully that we can.
Affirmative.
Good talk. And Zero will disconnect.
Orcus watches and just like is shaking his head no.
Oh, what's your deal?
Nothing good happens at Jeddah.
Have you been there
I mean,
before?
Yeah.
There was that battle that happened like 100 years ago, right?
Orcus like looks away from you and says, "Yeah, I don't want to talk about it."
Were you there?
He shudders a little bit and says, "It was a long time ago."
So you were there, okay. But that was 100 years ago, so things could be different now.
He closes his eyes for a little bit, and you can see like he's trying his best to stay cool and composed. Lysander, can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Okay. Use a different dice. 18.
You get a memory from Orcus that is painfully detailed. You can see him running through a group of dusty streets. There is dust in the air, screaming, explosions, the sound of blasters going off, even the sound of lightsabers striking stuff. But none of that is concerning to you. There's this feeling of pure fear and darkness just like chasing after him. And for a brief moment, you can hear this like ungodly echoing growling, and there's something just like pulling you. It's cold, it's nothingness and emptiness and fear at the same time, and you feel your vision get pulled. Your vision goes away from that, and you're back on the Squonk. I don't want to talk about it.
Would Lysander also kind of like vaguely recognize that same kind of feeling from like that time with the little the incident with the little wormy creatures that killed the first hut that we accidentally killed? That actually definitely wasn't our fault.
This felt a lot more intense than that.
So like that times 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Not hoping he's just a cute puppy. Lysander kind of just has broken down to like a cold sweat and is just kind of like, okay, we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah. We can. You don't have to talk about things you're not comfortable with. We need to go confer with Wynn about if we want to go to Jeddah or not. I know it's obviously not your preferred method, but, if we can get something that will hide us from the huts, it might be worth it.
Yeah. You guys can do that. I need to do something real quick.
Okay. And,
I need to ask the Squonk something, actually, in private.
oh, all right, well, have fun. Orcus, I guess, come with me, we'll go talk to Win.
All right.
And we walk out.
Lysander, looking at the little log from, Zero talking to the Squonk, and it's just like, do you have a way to contact the person who gave us the path engine? You suggested that we contact them and try to get a path to Jeddah that would be faster, right?
On the screen it says in text, I do.
Lysander. Chris, if I use my little guided by the Force thing, would Lysander think this is a bad idea, or feel like this is a bad idea, or?
Well, I don't know what you're gonna do or say, so I can't answer that for you.
I want to contact the person who could get us a quicker path to Jeddah.
Okay. So you call them up on the communication screen?
Yeah. He also locks the door
It's
to the
finally
computer room.
happening! It's finally happening!
I almost wrote in the chat, and Squonk, can you get me shirtless photos of him?
No!
please?
He wouldn't know it.
Yeah, so you ring him up, so to speak, and wait for a little bit, and finally the communication says it's connected. You don't see anybody on the screen, but you can hear their voice.
Well, this is unexpected.
You are the one who provided the path engine to my crewmates before.
Yes, and the information you provided me was quite useful.
Lysander has to take a deep breath because he thinks about the fact that, yeah, they are technically responsible for this in a roundabout way. Well, since we did that, I think the trade-off there wasn't equal, so I'd like a favor.
It wasn't equal?
Well, you are the one responsible, right? For this hyperspace disaster, whatever happened. That killed millions of people. Maybe not millions, but... Well, actually, who knows? With all the occurrences happening across the galaxy, but I think that payoff wasn't equal. We got this path engine. Yeah, sure. But we don't really know how to use it, so... I'd like to request that you give me the information on how to get more paths. Like, maybe specifically to Jeddah.
Jeddah? I provide the paths, but I get something in return.
Wait, you provide the paths? It's not just some kind of program that you put in?
That's right.
Well, what would you want in return?
What can you give me?
I
Do you
don't...
have something of value?
Lysander's thinking... Well, I have information about a defector from the Nihil.
A defector? Tell me more.
I want guarantee that you'll give us a path to Jeddah.
If you tell me about this defector, I'll provide you with a path to Jeddah.
His name is Orcus.
Orcus? I know of him. And he's defecting from the Nihil? How do you know this?
He is currently our prisoner, actually.
Why is he there?
Because he said he didn't want to be in the Nihil. Like I said, he's a defector.
Interesting. I'll send you the path for Jeddah. That information will be very valuable to me. Thank you.
Wait. I could give you Orcus too if you'd like. We keep him until we can get to Jeddah. And you leave me and the rest of the Squonk crew alone.
I don't need him, and if you want to kill him, fine by me. Your crew have proven to be very useful to me. If you ever wish to seek an audience, give me a call.
And at that point, he disconnects the communication, and the Squonk says on the screen, receiving data.
Squonk, delete any log of this. We don't need the others knowing that I did this.
Confirmed.
And Lysander also saves the path data. But yeah, so I guess now that transmission is deleted from the Squonk's memory, so cool. And he unlocks the door and goes to see Win and Zero and Orcus in the cockpit.
He could be dead for all I know. Or stuck on Naboo, where you sent him. Well, Kasov, keeping eyes on me? I never knew you to be so curious, or so bright. I'm not someone to underestimate, Lorna. Let's not forget, you're still the new runner. Last hired, first... I'm already bored, Kasov. What do you want?
Sitting upon the gaze electric, Marcion Rowe re-listens to the recording. He left a recording device in the waiting area, unbeknownst to the other Tempest runners. He always found out all kinds of interesting information when people thought no one else was listening. 3. Did you successfully track where our data signal went?
I did, my lord. And also, I found a great recipe for Ronto wrap so you can make in 30 minutes or less.
Marcion ignored the last part. Whatever Kosov and Lorna were talking about, whatever Orcus is after, they're all after, and he wants it. Set a new course, 3. It's time we burned bridges.
Which bridge, Marcion? Your bridge is so nice on this ship with all that beautiful wood and...
Metaphorical bridges, 3. Metaphorical. We must make sure my new underlings have no way to escape.
Well, everybody, that is our show for this week. And wow, I didn't expect to have happen what happened during the session, but it happened. It's as if somebody wants it to happen. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our podcast via your favorite podcast platform. We're on most podcast platforms out there. Subscribe, leave a review, tell your friends about us. We would really appreciate it. Also, if you love the music in the show, Most of it is composed by Grushkov. I know I've said this every single episode. I'm going to keep harping on it because I love their music. Definitely check them out. You can find their music on any streaming service and anywhere you can buy music. And also, where it is, they're coming out with more High Republic-inspired music very soon, which I'm very excited about. Also, if you find us on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, under the @ForLightandDice handle, there is a link on that profile that will give you a whole array of links, including the link to our Discord. It is free for anybody to join, so if you want to hang out with us and the cast and some of our awesomest, best listeners, definitely go there. Thank you very much, and may the Force be with you.